welcome to America 2.0. Ukraine confirms another nuclear event. This time near Chernobyl. Oh yeah, another nuclear event near Chernobyl. This is confirmed. There's a giant wildfire or various wildfires near Chernobyl. This comes days before Putin threatens retaliation for U.S. arming Ukraine. This nuclear event comes from a long list of sources. I had originally 10 pages in Google, or through my Google search. I'll just read all the major ones. For my sources, RT, Daily Mail, newsvice, .earth, .blogs, New York Times, Science Alert, RT.com before it was news, nuclearnews.net, CS Monitor, Godlike Productions, firerescue.com, esciencenews.com, BBC, foxnews, AccuWeather.com, parisguardian.com, Sputnik News, Freedom Phoenix, Business Insider, London News Report, nydailynews, enenews.com, nature.com, The Independent, nuclearwatchinfo.com, and this is several of the minor sources. Now that I got your attention, let me get into my sources. The first video you saw came from Noteworthy News Channel, and I just wanted to show it. It's actually on the event, or supposed to be on the event of the Chernobyl situation. I wanted to show you because the nuclear sign, they have people on patrol waiting. But let me get into my sources since these are pretty thick. First thing I want to do is show you via my Google search, because I wanted to see how close my Google search was from Chernobyl to Dunsk, the first and second nuclear event that we recorded, or nuclear-like event, if you will, if those of you who haven't really been bought in that they were small tactical nukes. Some have, some haven't, but I want to show you this real quick. Let me bring this up as soon as I can add screen. Hang on. There you go, screen capture. Ta-da! Alright, Google Maps, here we go. Alright, let me do this for you. See this? This is Chernobyl, Ukraine. We're going to go from Chernobyl, Ukraine, right? Let's see. Down to Dunsk, Ukraine, which would be an 11-hour drive, 11-hour 4-minute drive. As soon as this cooperates with me, I got a lot of things going on my internet real quick. And I don't think this is going to cooperate, but so I'll just have to go through it this way. Yeah, it's not going to cooperate, but basically, Dunsk is not affected yet, so that was going to be that. Let me just get into the sources real quick. Screen capture. This is so you know that it's real. We're going to start with the wire. Nuclear concerns as Russian wildfire spreads near Chernobyl. It is very near Chernobyl, I know that. Hundreds of wildfires still spreading through Russia, beginning to approach affected 1986 Chernobyl nuclear meltdown. Although only 30 square kilometers around Chernobyl facility are still off limits, some worry that substances may remain in the upper soil layer near bryansk forests. If that soil burns, warn environmentalists, it'll release potentially radioactive gas clouds. Russian officials, ominous warning from Reuters. So we got Reuters here. Let me write that down real quick, Reuters. So Reuters is a source on this. Amy Ferris Rotman writes, Emergency Minister Sergei Shoigu said heat from the fires in Bryansk region, which already has nuclear contamination from Chernobyl disaster more than 20 years ago, could release harmful radiation particles to the atmosphere. Okay, so you're viewing this as I'm viewing this. That's good enough for you to read, I think. Contamination. I'm just going to go through and read like one paragraph each so you guys can see this. This is from metro.co.uk, if this comes up. Radiation clouds released around Chernobyl thanks to wildfires. That's from 1986-ish area of time. Let's just see what these guys have to say. New radioactive clouds could erupt from the sites of Chernobyl disaster spread all over Europe thanks to climate change, researchers have warned. The clouds of toxic material could spread as far as Italy and Scandinavia. Hang it. New scientist reports that radiological damage near the site has meant that the plant isn't rotting normally, leading to buildup of loose, dry leaves, which could cause wildfires, which contains the original radiation. All right, we'll go to the next one as soon as it comes up. Okay, this is the first. I gotta start reading these tabs as I do this, or else this stuff will never pop up. This doesn't look like it has anything. Here's BBC, ladies and gentlemen. British Broadcasting. Alright, here we go. Chernobyl's radioactive trees and forest fire risk. Much of the kilometer exclusion zone around Chernobyl near the plant and the pine forest, and some of it's so badly contaminated that a forest fire could create a devastating radioactive smoke cloud. Heading north from Kiev in Ukraine, you can see the old ladies and their granddaughters sitting, waiting expectantly in the long grass. Whatever this says. Oh yeah, you can actually see the forest, I guess. Okay, so here we go with the radiation. Radiation measurements checks only take place in official markets and usually only cesium. Alright, so they're not really giving a whole lot on the info, so I'm going to go ahead and skip this, but let's see if we can get something good here. So they're talking about it slowly getting back to normal. Alright, the force is happening, blah, 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 blah. The inside of the exclusion zone 2, Chernobyl Forestry Enterprise is now planting small new pine trees. Alright, so these guys are skipping around. Here we go. I'm trying to see if... No. Okay, so BBC's kind of kicking around the dust on this one. They didn't want to really release the real details. I apologize, people. I'm trying to get to the root of the story here. Here we go. Chernobyl trees are not decaying normally, increased risk of nuclear wildfire. Okay, we already know there's a nuclear wildfire. So, this is one of the zones. Radioactive warning signs near explosion zone. We've written several times about a unique risk around Chernobyl nuclear plant. Alright, these guys are not going to talk about the actual fires. Let's go to this one. I apologize, people. Here we go. Russian fires threaten to stir and spread radioactive particles left from Chernobyl disaster. Here we go. This one's actually good. This one's come from Moscow AP. Okay, we see that there's an official name on this one. Moscow AP. Wildlife threatens to stir radioactive particles left over from the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster back into the air over Russia. Authorities boosted forest patrols to keep flames from contaminated areas. Environmentalists and forest experts warn that the radioactive dust is harmful, though doses would likely be small. The danger is still there, said Vladimir Chuprov of Russians Greenpeace told the Associated Press. The Emergency Situations Ministry, which would be like the United States' emergency FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Administration or agency, depending on how you interpret it, were spotted extinguishing fires in the Bryansk region, the part of Russia that suffered most when Chernobyl nuclear plant's reactor number 4 exploded during the pre-dawn test of April 26, 1984. Okay, so got him there. Let's see here. Let's see what AccuWeather says. Come on, AccuWeather. Alright, so here we go. We got the first part on how the fire started. I have no idea why this is August 6, 2010. I have no idea. But according to this from AccuWeather, fires related to the massive heat wave in Russia have started to burn in the area of Bryansk Forest, which is what I've been saying, Bryansk Forest, which was inflicted with radioactive dust in Chernobyl accident in 1986. Concerns about how the heat and fires will react with any leftover radioactive material, as well as the threat to the fires and smoke carrying radioactivity into populated areas, is being explored by scientists. Russian authorities put the danger of radioactive activity at minimal, but it is still there, and depending on if it gets closer to the zones, you know how it is, people. The closer it gets to the epicenter of the zone, it's going to become more of a problem. Here we go. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC, said the radioactive material concern of cesium-137, which is half-life of 30 years. So it's been roughly 30 years, but it hasn't been that well. Calculation showed that the doses could be received in about 1 kilometer downwind of the fire. Would most likely be less than a few percent of the average annual radioactive dose from the natural backgrounds. So these guys are putting it at a minimal risk. Let's see here. Business Insider. Here we go. This should be good. Russian fires threatening nuclear reactors in Chernobyl site. Here we go. Okay, so there's the fire right there. Again, I don't know how big this is. I don't know what the situation was that caused it, but wildfires are ravaging Russia at the moment. are causing more than spike in wheat prices. All right, nobody cares about wheat prices, but I guess that's how Business Insider comes in. Now the fires are threatening the area of Russia where the Chernobyl disaster occurred, according to Reuters. Okay, so Reuters again. So Reuters, this is 2 times of sourced. The fires could release dangerous particles left over from the Chernobyl disaster. Okay, so Business Insider says that the fires are still roaring through the area. Those particles could still spread through the air, potentially threatening around fires. Yep. Russian soldiers are currently defending one of the country's nuclear research facilities from the fires. Okay, so basically here we have the Russian or the Ukrainian, currently Ukrainian Chernobyl site, and Russian soldiers are currently defending another Russian country's nuclear research facility from the fires. So understand something, ladies and gentlemen. They're worrying about Chernobyl, and according to Business Insider, Russian soldiers are now currently defending one of the country's nuclear research facilities from the fires. So there's another country's nuclear research facility which is being threatened by these fires, aside from the 1986 Chernobyl site. So here, folks. One second. Here we go. Okay. Alright, let's see what this is. London Report. Here's from the London Report. As soon as these things load, I'm sorry people, I'm trying to do everything I can. Alright, Chernobyl burning. From London Report, new radioactive clouds could release from Chernobyl thanks to wildfires. Chernobyl burning. Picture from Wikimedia Commons. New radioactive clouds erupt from the site of Chernobyl disaster and spread over Europe, or could spread over to Europe thanks to climate change. Researchers have warned radioactive materials. Okay, so they're reading the same thing everybody else is reading. Published by Metro UK News. Today, read more. Okay, so this is a small one, but this comes from London Report. I don't think I do a lot from them. Here's nydailynews.com. Russian wildfires ignite fears that Chernobyl radiation will return to the air. Oh, that's a nice picture. Let me blow that. Let me get that up. That is a nice photo. Come on, hurry up. Nope, guess not. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Let me try to figure out how to do this. Come on. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. This is being awkward. Are you serious? It won't let me do anything? Alright, let me go here. Then back here. Alright, so according to this in the image, if you can read that, and I think I know why it froze. According to this little wording here that you can't read, let me zoom it in so you can actually read, so that you know how bad this is. Come on. So this isn't one or two of these folks. Okay. Russian officials say there are battling over more than 600 wildfires across, across the country. Okay? So, this is coming from NY Daily News. I have no idea why I can't exit this. Let me try over here more. Okay, there is no X for me to exit out of this, but basically, maybe this. Nope. Okay, well, I'll just read what I can. So, according to these guys, a cloud may come up soon and spread over a huge territory, said Alex Isariev of Moscow Center for Forest Ecology and Productivity. As of Wednesday, more than 600 wildfires were still burning across Russia, the government said. In Moscow, the city's mortality rate, number of people who typically die a day, doubled to 700 through government officials have not pegged the spike effects to the wildfires. Okay, so let's get this down on paper, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, hey, it finally did it. Okay, so I had to click it. I clicked it before, nothing happened. Okay, so get this, folks. In Moscow, okay? And the city's mortality rate, number of people who typically die each day, has doubled to 700. Though government officials have not pegged the spike to the effects of the wildfires. Hang on, I'm writing this down too. The fires have prompted the government to suspend its wheat exports, and it'll cost the country $4 billion. Said BBC reports. Okay, with Newswire services. Yay. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So we can actually say that we saw Russian officials say they're battling more than 600 wildfires across the country. Okay, this by quarter of get. Okay, so this is bigger than what's estimated. Here's E&E News, Scientific American, up to 1 million eventual deaths estimated for Chernobyl exposure. Hang on 1 second, I'm sorry. Alright, and the ones that are be affected are Sweden, Finland, other concerns as forest fires near the disaster area. At Chernobyl, radiation danger lurks in the trees. By Scientific American, Jane Braxton Little, the Daily Climate. So, okay, here we go. Over 26 years ago, forests around Chernobyl have been absorbing radioactive elements, but a fire that has started would send those particles skyward. A concerns for summers grows longer, hotter, and drier. Scientists, several institutions in Europe and North America analyze worst-case scenario: a very hot fire that burns for 5 days, consumes everything in its path, and sends the smoke 60 miles south to Kiev. So I think this is a weapon of mass destruction the Russian scientists set up, I think, maybe. A separate worst-case scenario study underway looking at the risks in Sweden, Finland, and other European countries heavily impacted by the 1968 explosion. Women living in their 20s just outside the zone face higher risk from exposure, radiation, smoke in 2011. Okay, nobody cares about 2111 or 2011. It doesn't concern this. Over 1 million eventual deaths from radiation exposure. Okay. Here we go. So there we have it, folks. So this one says Sweden and Finland. I have a bunch of these, folks. Okay, this is huge. This is very huge. Russia counts environmental cost of wildfires. Without better forest management, country can expect further uncontrolled fires in the future. As fires sweep across Russia during its hottest and driest summer months, On record, the country is facing a multitude of public health and environmental disasters, including the risk of radioactive particles being released from contaminated land around Chernobyl nuclear reactor. How bad's the situation? More than 300,000 hectares of forest, vegetation, peat land have been burned since June. So, 300,000 hectares since June of 2014, I believe. Some of the worst affected areas are the Moscow region west of Russia and the Nizhny Novgorod region southwest of Moscow, according to figures from the Global Monitoring Center, GFMC, part of Max Planck Institute for Chemistry based in the University of Freiburg in Germany. According to ITAR TAS, the Russian state media, Ministry of Health and Social Development says the death toll from the fires has risen to 53, with 806 people having requested medical attention. One second. Okay. Oh, I have tons of these. I have like 3 whole pages open like this. This is coming from the Independent. We should get something good out of this. Hundreds of wildfires burning across Russia. Move to the areas affected by Chernobyl nuclear disaster and spread harmful radiation. Environmental activists warned today. Greenpeace said 600 wildfires sparked the hottest summer ever registered in Russia. So Greenpeace is a source if you want to put them up. Okay. The Emergency Situation Manager branch in Western Bryansk region, Bryansk, which suffered worst from the Chernobyl catastrophe in what is now Ukraine, said today it spotted several wildfires in the area over the past few days and quickly put them out. It said it increased patrols to prevent more blazes, but as we've read in other parts, there are other fires that have been spotted in the area and are going toward that area, and fires are not completely being put out. Emergency officials say that about 165,000 people and 39 firefighting aircraft are battling the blaze nationwide. And as we've researched in other areas, here, let me write down Emergency Situation Minister. Alright, so this is coming from The Independent, Wednesday. So this is today. Okay. Okay, alright, let's get done that one before. Here we go. Alright, Russian wildfires could spread across Chernobyl radiation. Alright, wildfires burn near regions contaminated by 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster, prompting fears and radiation could spread. Vladimir Isachekov, Associated Press. Russian emergency workers have increased forest patrols in western region contaminated by 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster, trying to prevent wildfires that could spread harmful radiation. Okay, there's no new information here. I'm going to get this over with and get to the next one, because this is getting kind of long and it's actually starting to lose my patience. And why this isn't circling, I have no idea. Or cycling. Oh, that's why. Alright. Again, I don't know why these have such weird dates on them. Some of these were 2015, and I'm seeing like 2014 on this one. I don't think these guys are updating their dates or something. Wildfires in Chernobyl, contaminated forests, risk population and other things. A nuclear disaster about to happen. Yes. Godlike Productions doesn't have anything. Alright. They're estimated that 85 petafecquerels of radioactive cesium released by Chernobyl accident between 2 and 8 PBQ still lurk in the upper layer of the soil, yada yada yada. Alright, we know about this. So, again, these are just sourcing different, see, here we go, here's one from today. Radioactive smoke, Russia wildfires rage in Chernobyl. Nope, this says August 11, 2010. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Okay, this one here, folks. Look at this. I'm not trying to kid you or nothing. Here. I'm not sure how long this was down. I apologize. Here. This is from, it says, where is it? It is right here. The title right here. It says, 2015 February. Ukrainian wildfires bring Chernobyl radiation back to life. So some of these articles I'm reporting to you say 2010, and yet it's not. See, look, in fact, analysis and satellite images of forest fires in 2002, 8, and 10 measure radioactive particles of cesium-137 deposited in the area. Okay, but this says that this is from Nuclear News. Threat to Europe, wildfires causing release of Chernobyl radiation. Ukrainian wildfires may bring Chernobyl radiation. Gizmodo.com.au. Ukrainian wildfires may bring Chernobyl radiation back. So this is today. This is February of 2015. So this is today, folks. Or at least this month. So I'm not certain why these are saying different things in different areas, but this is going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize if people aren't updating their clocks. See this one right here. Look, February 2015 by Deborah Mackenzie, news scientist. Fallout from the world's worst nuclear accident won't go away. Radioactive clouds once again spread over Europe as rising fires release radiation locked in the upper layers of soil dense forests near Chernobyl in Ukraine and Belarus. Forest fires there have already been redistributing radioactivity over Europe. That situation is set to be worse: climate change, political instability, bizarre effects. Alright, this goes into Chernobyl. Again, it mentions the real fires in 2002, 8, 10, and this says today being February 2015. This was actually on the 9th of 2015. So this is good. Rise in fires may resurrect Chernobyl radiation. Before it was news. A multi-partisan activist group established to expose to resist U.S. imperialism, corporate terrorism, and New World Order, yada yada yada. February 9, 2015. Hang on. Says fallout from the world's second worst nuclear disaster won't go away. The ongoing Fukushima disaster is the worst nuclear accident, but in this one, radioactive clouds may once again spread over Europe. As rising fires release radiation locked up in the upper layers of soil, dense forest, yada yada yada, and Chernobyl and Ukraine and Belarus forest fires, there have already been redistributing radioactivity over here. Alright, so some of these are just reactivating or reissuing the same story over and over and over. Here's one. Okay, here's one. Here's one from RT, ladies and gentlemen. Published February 10, 2015. So some of these guys aren't updating their time and their years and stuff on these. Wildfires create a second wave of radiation poisoning from Chernobyl. Norwegian scientists say global warming leads to wildfires. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, so yeah, this one here. Leaving Europeans exposed to radioactive elements still present in exclusive zone over the plant. Large amount of cesium-137 still remains in Chernobyl forests. Could be remobilized along with large number of dangerous long-lived refractory radionuclides. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency described cesium-139 as a highly radioactive material that increases the risk of cancer. Okay. I think we've already done this. Wildfires near Chernobyl could spread through Europe. I'm not going to read that if that's the same thing it's been. See, February 10, 2015. Thanks to the forest now covers much of the exclusion zone around Chernobyl. Significant amounts of radiation or radioactive contamination has been locked into the area, and now researchers say there's a real risk that it'll be released by wildfires and spread hundreds of thousands of kilometers across Europe. And then it gives the history of the Chernobyl incident. Chernobyl fires and radiation. This is on the 2010s. These were, I apologize. I'm trying to read this as fast as I can. Alright, this is February 10, 2015. Wildfires could make Chernobyl more radioactive. Alright, they start off with what happened there. Scientists say 3 minutes to doomsday, yada yada yada. A fire consuming the leaves vaporizes the radioactive material, and its heat causes the vapors to rise into the atmosphere. Once there, the vapors travel on the air until they fall or are brought to the ground with rain. The study estimates that the amount of radioactive cesium redistributed by fires is about 8% of the cesium originally released into the atmosphere. Alright, or into the disaster. So okay. That's a big guess. Ian Fair, a former UK government consultant in radiation risks, told Vice News. In their analysis, their estimates all depend on figures of 8%, and it's not reliable, supposedly. Okay. And because of the climate change, the risk could be increased. According to some climate models, average annual temperature in Chernobyl surrounding area will reach above 57 degrees Fahrenheit in the end of the century. About 10 degrees higher than it was in 2000. Climate change may also bring increased rain, which could compromise the area and the vegetables and get in the food supply. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've done my best to tell you about this. This was reported in multiple sources, Feb 9 and Feb 10, 2015. Please do with it what you will. This is a real nuclear event. It was caused by wildfires, and we've reported here that not only has hazards around Chernobyl, but there is a second nuclear facility that is being guarded heavily by Russian forces, of which the fire is spreading to.